Now we're joined in our studio with Jeff Ballabon from the American Center for Law and Justice. Jeff, we've been talking about Ecclesiastes. There's a time for peace and a time for war. Do you think maybe we might be on the cusp of a time of peace?
It's a great question, and we've been talking about this because something's been going around the Jewish world. That would be good to get out to the wider world. Sure. That in chapter 3 of Kohelet, we call it, Ecclesiastes, authored, as we believe, by King Solomon, the wisest of all men, he has an interesting structure. He talks about times, right? It's famous, there are times for all things under heaven. And he talks about, as you say, at the end, the last two are a time of war and a time of peace. And the Vilna Gaon, a famous rabbi who lived in the 18th century, one of the great geniuses of all time, he points out that this is not merely a poetic statement by Solomon. He said this is actually, he's defining the structure of the 6,000 years of the pre-Messianic age before the 7,000s, which is the Sabbath, which is obviously the 1,000 years of the Messianic age. And he says that if you divide it exactly, 6,000 by 28, you will find that it corresponds to what's happening in the world. And people have begun pointing out that what was the transition? We are now in the year 5785, which means we're a little less than 215 years away from the epoch of the Messiah. Now, of course, the Messiah can come any moment. We believe in a faith that we hope and pray that he comes any moment. Sure. But if he doesn't come before that, if we haven't earned it, or things aren't too cataclysmic, then that's the time that he comes. And this age, the 28th and final age before the Messiah, according to Elijah of Vilna, started on June 17th. I mean, it's to the day, if you calculate it, June 17th of this year, and that would correspond, I'm sorry, June 20th, Sivan 17, in the Hebrew calendar, which corresponds exactly to when this war was launched against Iran's nukes. And by the way, if you go back 214 point whatever it is years earlier, if you do the math, 6,000 divided by 28, you'll come up with the exact number. It's 214.2857 or something years. That's actually the epoch, they say, of the greatest bloodshed in recorded world history, which starts during the Napoleonic Wars, but a great deal of revolutionary activity happens, and so we've just gone through the bloodiest period of human history. Yeah. World War I, World War II. Exactly, revolutions, World War I, World War II, the expansion via conquest of Enlightenment thinking. A whole bunch of things have happened in the last 214 years. And in fact, I did a Google search. I just put in world history in 1811. And sure enough, it's the first words began a period of great unrest and violence. And so this could be the moment where we transition from, again, according to Ecclesiastes, according to the rabbinic teachings and Kabbalistic teachings, we're transitioning from the time of war, the last 214 plus years, to officially the time of peace, heralding in the epoch of the Messiah. So if this is so, how should people be preparing? How should they be praying? Well, this structure has been here all along. It's been there since the beginning of time. It precedes time. We believe that God looked at the Torah and then created the world as though from the blueprint. It was not given to us after. All of creation is built according to the Torah. And so everything is embedded in there. And so we should do what we've always wanted to do, right? We should be awareness of God's kingdom, be awareness that we are his children, we are his servants, and serve him the best way we can. And doing so, I believe, is always with loving one another and respecting that those of us, even if we differ in our approach of searching for God, those who genuinely seek the unknowable to understand how to serve and love God will end up serving and loving each other. Yeah. Well, Jeff Ballabon, thanks for this biblical, spiritual perspective on where we are right now in the long train of history. Thank you, Chris.